Hey, good afternoon, everybody. We'll bring the committee of the whole for March 11th to order, please. I'd like to start the meeting by acknowledging the traditional territories of our friends and our neighbors, our Treaty 8 partners of the Fort Nelson First Nation, as well as the Prophet River First Nation. We recognize our treaty. We recognize the rights within that treaty. Finally, we celebrate the contributions and enduring presence of the Métis people in our region. Please be advised that this afternoon's meeting is available for the public to attend virtually and is being streamed and recorded. Are there any council additions to today's meeting? Staff? No, Mayor. Thank you. Is there any public online that would like to speak to today's meeting? None? Any in attendance? No? Okay. Everybody's okay with the agenda? Good. Well, that brings us to our delegation with the Northern Rockies RCMP. So I think maybe a round of introductions would be great. So I'll start. I'm Rob Fraser. I'm the mayor of the Northern Rockies.
John Roper, Regional Council. Danny Souls, Regional Council. Jason Rowling, Township Manager of the RCMP.
Crystal Shuchak with the RCMP here.
Welcome.
Hey, Shuchak. RCMP as well.
Scott Barry, CAO.
Erin LaVale, Deputy CAO. Alicia Gregory, Communications.
Jaylene McIver, Corporate Manager.
See Elliot with RCMP here in town.
Sergeant Christian Dolosinic, in charge of the operations of the detachment.
Scott Nielsen, also with the RCMP.
Lorraine Gerwing, Deputy Mayor.
Bev, would you like to introduce yourself, please?
Yep. Do you want me to mic?
Here you go. You'll take
Okay.
it.
Bev Vanderstein, Fort Nelson Chamber of Commerce. Thanks.
Hey, well, thank you very much for coming. Welcome to the community. For those of you that are new to the community, I'm looking forward to this. You know, we've been beating our heads a little bit for the last couple of years, and we're definitely seeing a difference out there. And so if that's because of you, thank you. And I'll turn it over to Jason, please.
Thank you, Mayor Fraser. What I would like to do first off is I'm going to present our 2025 year-end policing report to Mayor and Council. But what I would like to do first is, as I know, Mayor Fraser, you've heard me and CEO Barry as well, many times talk about our capacity in the community. And Sergeant Robinson and myself have worked tirelessly to bring good people into our community and be a part of our team. I would just like to introduce each one of the folks here and a little bio and could you just tell us what you're bringing to the community, and we'd appreciate that. So we'll start with Crystal Shuchak.
Sure. So my first name is Crystal. So I'm coming from Kamloops RCMP with about 8 years of policing experience there. Prior to that, I was a crime analyst in the Lower Mainland at Ridge Meadows Detachment. So yeah, I'm here with my husband, Kate, and we were looking for a bit of a change and a bit of an adventure. So in Kamloops, I did mostly general duty, and then I did about 2 years of plainclothes, more serious crimes investigations. And I'm looking forward to just bringing those skills to a smaller community.
How long have you been in town now?
Just about 2 weeks.
What do you think of the winter?
It's awful. Our dogs are not very happy.
Actually, this is spring.
Yeah.
Well, we did tell you.
Yeah. It only gets better, right?
Thank you, Chris.
Yeah, Corporal Shuchak. I have 15 years of policing experience. This is my 4th post. I started back in Surrey, and then I went to Revelstoke, and then Kamloops, and now here. And in the last 6 years, I've been in an acting supervisor role in the city where I managed 13 constables. And so I'm really looking forward to come up here and put these skills to the test and develop some more and see what we can do to have some community engagement. And my passion is patrol, so like the general duty thing. And that means to me that Jason's on board with it, being very visible in the community. And you're going to see a lot of police cars. You're going to see a lot of us doing foot patrols. And I lead by example. I will be one of the members that is out there a lot. So I look forward to talking to community members and engaging with as many people as I can.
That's very good. You know, I was gonna say that's very good, you know, because we want people to feel comfortable when you roll into their driveway, not defensive, right? And the way to do that is become familiar, for sure. So thanks for that. Yeah.
A little less rounded, I guess we could say, as you guys are, a little less experience. Mine comes from across the country rather than just local to BC. So I have about 6 years experience right now with the RCMP. I'm here in the corporal role as well. I started out in Yarmouth, Nova Scotia. And I did a few years down there doing the general duty thing. So whole other kind of realm, I guess you could say, when it comes to the policing side of things there. An opportunity popped up, which brought me across the country. Reason also for choosing the RCMP, right, is where all the way across we get to move and see and do different things. And that's what kind of drew me to the RCMP. So what brought me over here was Tumbler Ridge had an opening. So I did my last 2 years in Tumbler Ridge before coming up to fill this spot. I'm fairly big into the community side of things as well. So a bunch of you probably already seen me walking around in just about everywhere. I coach in minor hockey, so I'm at the community center all the time. You will occasionally see me right out on the ice like this, or right, or you know,
You're not that bad around here.
I'm sitting in the crowd cheering on the next group. I was active with that whole U11 hockey tournament that we just had.
Yeah.
So that was my time off, and I was representing us in uniform there as well, so that people see us. We're part of the community as well. People know I'm active with the hockey stuff there. I think it's good overall that's a big thing for me. Yeah, I'm excited to be here to help guide some of that and get our members out into this community.
That's also very good because people recognized you there that weekend. Like that was a very, very busy weekend. And
Yeah.
and the fact that you guys were there in uniform and talking to people, they recognized it. It's a I think it's a deviation from what's been happening before, right? And a deviation in a very good direction. So
Can I just add a quick question to you personally?
Yeah.
And the coming to Port Nelson, how big of an influence was the rec center and the having 2 ice surfaces and so on? Was that part of your decision-making criteria?
It definitely helped. This is a very nice facility here. Oh, yeah. I will tell you, my little guy playing hockey, I say little, he's 11, but him playing hockey here, he has more ice time available, right? The community center here puts out quite a bit of extras, right? And so when he can go there and get on the ice just about any time of day, it's so beneficial to his progression in hockey. And then the community center as a total just has so many cool things in it that it's a draw from everywhere. And I'll tell you too, from that U11 hockey tournament, in minor hockey, I've been in all of these different towns. Everybody that's come up here, I know the coaches, I know the people, and not one person had anything negative to say all weekend long, right? I constantly got, this place is awesome, right? We love coming up here. I wish it wasn't so far of a drive, but we definitely like it. Yeah. Yeah.
there's 2 sides to that coin. I'll be in far away. Go ahead.
Just to let you know that minor hockey executive is looking to fill some positions.
I've been approached a few times already.
New blood. Yeah.
And also for the fact that if there is people online at all, but Sergeant Dropasenic as well.
Yeah, Sergeant Drozenic, who does not know me. So I have 21 years of policing experience. I came over from Austria. So I was a police officer in Austria for 12 years. 2 years in general duty, 1 year in plainclothes drug unit, and then I joined the emergency response team over there. Became a supervisor and team leader for 9 years. Then my wife and I, we moved to Canada, seek the adventure. I joined the Abbotsford Police Department in the Lower Mainland, joined the emergency response team down there. and was with the emergency response team in the Abbotsford Police till 2022 when I decided to join the RCMP to seek the greater adventure and, like Jesse said before, to explore the country. And my first post with the RCMP was in Kitimat, where I promoted there to corporal, was a watch commander in Kitimat till this opportunity came up in Fort Nelson. And I moved to Fort Nelson last year, beginning of the year, and I've been here since, and I enjoy it. You guys know, you see me in uniform and without the uniform, like all the time. Like I have two little kids. They love the rec center. They are there every day and sign up for all the courses. My wife is signed up for courses, including cooking classes. So it's amazing. So, so yeah, and it's a great community, and I love it here, and so does my family. And yeah, now with the experience coming in, like I'm glad, and you all know, like it's great to have that reinforcement now, and yeah, and finally, like we can go down this road, and yeah, love it. I'm really super excited. Like,
Did you get a house yet, or are you still living there?
this is something. This is something they don't even know what it feels like. It was a good experience. Like I enjoyed it. Like you guys all know, like it was tough 6 months being in a hotel, but I made a lot of friends there, and it was great. Like it was good, and now it's a second home. So no, but I finally have a place. Yeah.
First name basis with Ed and Dave.
Yeah, with Ed and Dave, like they're like speed dial. Yeah, perfect.
Good. Well, last but not least.
Hi, thanks, Mayor Fraser and Council for having us. I'm Scott Nielsen. 17 years with Edmonton Police before I decided that I wanted to join in on the adventure and come over to the RCMP. Was lucky enough as part of that experience to get to be able to choose where I wanted to go. And looking at the list, Fort Nelson was a very easy choice. We love the sense of community, and the small town vibe has been immaculate. Everyone's been very welcoming. So thank you for that. I spent my first 9 years in downtown Edmonton, working frontline policing, a lot of beats and inner city work with the Indigenous community. I'm a huge proponent of proactive policing, but also a human-led approach where you focus on the root of the problem and working together and building those relationships. And part of that, it's very refreshing to have police and city council sitting at the same table and laughing. So that's great as well. I worked in plainclothes units for 5 years in auto theft unit. And then I have about 4 years of supervisory experience as well. I'm super excited to be back just as a constable and get to be out on the streets. I have bike patrol experience, so I'm looking forward to getting the bikes out here and riding up and down Main Street. So yeah, again, it sounds like we've all talked about what we're going to say, but honestly, the community approach and just being out there and proactive and having those positive interactions is a priority to me, as it is everybody else. So super excited for that.
Well, thank you for choosing Fort Nelson. We certainly appreciate that. And, you know, we're doing what we can to try to make this place a place where people want to come. So thank you for choosing. I hope you like it better than Jasper in 97.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you, guys and girls. Mayor Fraser and council, this is one of the, this is actually a highlight of my time in Fort Nelson, this management group that we've been able to put together. This is our senior management at the detachment. This is the experience they bring, and this is the hopefully the enthusiasm that they bring to our constables in the office, and I hope it's infectious. And we're going in an amazing direction, which we haven't had that opportunity here for years. So that's why I'm very excited to bring everybody before council to introduce them and so put faces to names and go from there. Yeah. Any questions before I start putting you guys to sleep?
No, I think that was awesome. This is your first line string.
Sorry?
This is your first line.
Well, this is as in hockey and hockey
Yeah.
analogy. This is my top six.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. So folks, thank you for the time to come for mayor and council. As you all hopefully have copies of the policing report in front of you. I'm just going to take a second. There is a letter on the front of it, but I want to reflect on the past year. I've been back here in post since June of this year. And I just wanted to give you all an update on the key policing initiatives and their impacts on our community. There's been ongoing efforts and downward crime trends that has been successful, and we've focused on addressing the community violence, managing our prolific offenders, and for lack of better words, improving our traffic safety. Those are really the initiatives that we're going to be taking this year, and I'll get into the annual performance plan consultation piece and that later here. But really, through strategic enforcement, enhanced partnerships with MCFD, with probation, with Crown Council, we continue to make progress in creating a safer community for all the residents of Fort Nelson. The community violence remains a priority, just so you're very, very, very clear about that. With improved community visibility, engagement, our target enforcement aimed at known offenders, our localization work with our provincial partners, which was, for us was CFSU, our North District Regional GIS, and any extra resources that were brought into the community assist with the violence and with our offenders. This has all led to significant arrests, disruption of the offenders that contributed to the violence in our community. And that's why I think when I get into the statistics, the stats don't lie in this case, but in the same breath, I think the feeling in the community is that things have subsided, things are safer, and I hope the community feels that. Our prolific offenders continue to pose challenges, but through our focused monitoring, and I'll get into that with our APPs, enforcement, and corroboration with our community stakeholders, we've seen a reduction in all those offenses, right? One of the big things was the violence and the arson in the community remain pressing concerns. So, which will require a multifaceted approach. And Sergeant Drabosenic and myself and our group here, our leadership group, are committed to multifaceted approach, intelligence-led policing, proactive enforcement, and community engagement. That's why you will see a lot of us out there. And that is the main goal here. If people see the RCMP out there, I hope to deter them from from committing offenses, but also the good folks of Fort Nelson, the good folks of British Columbia will feel safer when they're traveling through here. And we do have close to 400,000 people travel through Highway 97 up north every year. And we need to have a better visibility in the community so those folks feel that this is a safe place to be. So we've strengthened our leadership team and the detachment capacity to better take on these challenges. With the group that you just were introduced to, the capacity is off the charts. And I can tell you right now, there's not a lot of detachments in North District right now that can boast having a solid top six like this right now, and people with the experience and the capacity to take on these type of investigations if they do arise, or deal with the issues before they arise, right? So I won't get into the traffic initiatives here, but I'll talk about them later. I just wanted to, additionally, our commitment to crime prevention through strengthening our partnerships, our local organizations, schools, Indigenous communities are our priority. Collaborative initiatives focused on youth engagement, mental health, which I'll get into in our statistics here, support and outreach programs designed to address the root cause of crime. Those are objectives, and we've gone from being reactive to being able to be proactive with a lot of our programs. And Sergeant Drabosenic and myself and Corporal Chuchuk and Aia, we're all on the same page. There's no confusion. There's no deterring in different directions. These are our objectives. This is what we're bringing to the table, and this is what we're going to execute. Finally, one of the greatest things here, I love it. I love this, is the implementation of our body worn cameras. This past year, it's been very well received. The technology enhances the transparency, the accountability, and officer safety while reinforcing the public trust in our service. And I just want to thank you all for your ongoing support as we continue to work towards a safer and stronger community. Body worn cameras is a game changer for the management anyways. Because when it comes right down to it, we've had a number of public complaints this year. And to be able to sit down with a person and say, listen, here's the body camera, this is what occurred. And they go, oh, I don't remember it that way. Okay, but that's what occurred. So do we have a complaint or we don't have a complaint? Well, no, we don't have a complaint, but I don't remember it that way. I said, well, cameras don't lie, right? And for the most part, there is interpretation. There's interpretation of any interaction with a person or a police officer, but that has come a long ways, and I think we're very fortunate because there's still detachments in the province that have not had the body worn cameras rolled out yet. So I think we're very fortunate to have that. Yeah. So I'll just get to the policing report. That's on page 3 of what was sent over. I'm not going to get into a lot of the changes and percentages here, but in 2025, we have gone back to historical normals. And you see here that pretty much everything in the right-hand column is below the 5-year average. And that's because of the hard work that the members did through 2025. And also there was a huge spike in crime in 2024. And there's a whole number of contributing factors, if that's going to be the fires, if that's going to be the gang issues and all that type of such at the time. But those matters have been addressed. They are contained. And they're still there, but those are matters that we will address going forward in our policing of the community this year. One of the things that I just wanted to point out, in relations to statistics. So in 2024, we had 3,034 files. And I know files the file count is really not something you can compare year after year. You may have one year where you have a couple hundred less files and we have way more work because of the complexity of the job we're doing and the system nowadays. But one of the big things that reared their head this year, and it's a part of our emergency services meetings and conversations we were having with Northern Health and such, is that we had a huge spike in mental health calls. We had a huge spike. They were up 113% from 172 in 2024 to 368 in 2025. And a very small percentage of persons or clients that we were dealing with this were contributing to these calls. Now we're working with Fort Nelson First Nations in relations to one of a single individual who is we literally have multiple calls a day for that individual, and it's a very complex scenario. But then we also had a young lady here in town who was probably the other 50% of those calls. And we basically assisted her as much as we could, as we're just a stopgap. We're the initial first responders that go in and address with the mental health basically issues that that person's having. But in that case, that person's now left the community, so I will suspect that we'll see a decrease there. But we still have a significant increase because there are always new people coming to town and not understanding that there's not resources here available to them when it comes to mental health. And I'm sure the hospital and I know Northern Health has expressed those concerns as well, right? The next pages are just graphs, and they kind of show an overview of a 2024 to 2025. They're very simplistic. They're very self-explanatory. The following page is we talk about traffic, and I threw this up there because I want to I just want to point out to council and the mayor that we have some work to do in relations to community safety, in relations to traffic. Now we're gonna work on we're placing a huge emphasis this year on our prolific offenders and our REVO or PTEP targets, our provincial our threat assessments and so on and so forth. But when it comes down to the traffic side of things, this is a very basic thing that affects all communities. If it comes down to more vehicle collisions, we call it impaired driving. So last year we had an increase of about 12% in our motor vehicle collisions on the highway here that the detachment attended to. I'm embarrassed to say these numbers, but motor vehicle act tickets and notice and orders that were issued over the past 2 years. And you can remember we're a detachment of 18 members. So we had in 2024 we had 50 tickets that were written by our members in our office, and then last year we had 62. That is I don't even know how to describe it. It's horrible. It's not correct because we're not out there providing education to the community about safe driving. We're not dealing with our impaired drivers in the community, our prohibited drivers, that type of stuff. People in the community that are posing risk to our residents. So that will be something that I'm going to address in the annual performance plan. And just in comparison, what I wanted to show was, and I know there's always been the us and them issue and such with the BC Highway Patrol and different people have different prerogatives or points of view on that. But just to put in the context, 2 members in 2024 wrote 399 tickets on the highway. And in 2025, the 2 members wrote 117 tickets. Now that was up 79% over 1 year. But what that also shows is that the BC Highway Patrol did have presence on the highway. They were out there flying the colors, and as much as we all know sitting at the scale and the concerns that have been brought up with them before, and maybe not so much common sense being used. Those things were all brought up before, but it just goes to show that we have a lot of work to do as a municipal policing agency in the community, ensure that public safety is paramount. So those are things we have to look at and we have to address. Now, one of the things that I just want to point out, and for people and most everybody in the room here, most of you all know me very well. But one of the big things is this is what I lead by, and this is what I stand by, is that within North District, within RCMP, we are here to lead the province in the highest quality policing service to the folks in northern BC. We're here to basically make sure that everybody is safe and secure, and they feel that in the community. So we're changing a lot of our culture in our office. We're changing. I hope to have open houses here this year where we're going to bring the community in there. We're going to have barbecues. I want to be an inclusive, open detachment, which this office has not been for a long time. And because I feel if the community wants to know what the RCMP do, and let's make no qualms about it. As you saw at the U11 hockey tournament, we ran a recruiting booth there, and you're gonna see a lot of that because we need to bring good people in our community into our organization and allow them to get back to the communities where they want to be. And we may have some good. I can't put the cart before the horse, but we have some good news stories coming down the tube in relations to that. Hopefully this September, and I'll cross my fingers and won't let the cat out of the bag yet. Each one of our members in my detachment and as members of the RCMP, we have our core values, and it's something that it becomes a little bit of lip service. But I want you to know that this is something that Sergeant Drabasek and myself will not waver from, but we want our members to act with integrity. We want them to show respect to everybody they deal with and our community members. Treat people with fairness, right? We want them to demonstrate compassion, take responsibility, and we want to serve the community with excellence. And those are our core values that we are hitting home with our people in order to develop them and making sure they learn the basics from the get-go. So so that was really last year in a nutshell. I'm not getting into any specific files, anything like that. I'm just, our numbers, we're trending in the right direction. What we're doing is working. What we're doing is going to be even better this year. I'm very excited for it. But what I do want to do is, a part of the community consultation piece, I would like to talk to council and Mayor Fraser. I like getting feedback from the 2025 report, if there is any. And two, I also like, as in page 7, as I put down here, part of the community consultation piece. I'm going to talk about what's coming up this year, but before I get into the nuts and bolts of it, are there any initiatives, changes, priorities that you hear from your community members that you would like the RCMP to be alive to when we're developing our annual performance plan this year?
Comments?
I think of the historical, you've somewhat addressed this already, so, but on the record as when we have the core of our community is Fort Nelson and Fort Nelson First Nation, and then we've got the other communities within the community at large. And I think of the up highway part of our municipality, the Muncho Lake and Toad River and Liard and so on. And I think of how do you see building capacity in for some presence in that part of the policing, especially given the stat that you mentioned about 400,000 travelers that travel through Fort Nelson, or trips that are made through Fort Nelson up the highway. And that's not all summertime, because transport still works in winter, but summertime, the increased load of the tourism world, and hot springs are a pretty hot place to be. And anyway, just a question about up highway.
Councillor Scholes, thank you very much. That's actually, that's a great point. So one of the things that, and Sergeant Jefferson will start laughing in here in a second because of this question, but it's one of the most significant things that when I arrived here in 2023, that with the previous Sergeant Fletcher, who was here at the time, it was a conversation that we had, and we started with, I think that was the first year that CEO Barry and myself went up to Toad River and met with the Track Association up there, and also myself on my own time, I've gone up and met with Erst. I've met with the folks at the Liard Hot Springs, and I don't remember the individual at the time who was at the Fireside gas station there at the time. We have it's rather an interesting animal, because we police 15% of the province with 18 police officers here. The core of, and let's put it even into a better context. With BC Hybrid Patrol, when they were fully staffed here and they had the SYD contract, we had 18 police officers in town because of the context of being an isolated post. Members will rotate through here every 4 years. Those are things we would like to see. We would like to make this a destination for police officers within the RCMP, where they come up here. Yeah, they have a 4-year obligation here, but they want to stay longer. And we do have that. We have Constable Ricketts in the community. We have Constable Dean Campania in the community, and they are long-term residents who are not going anywhere because they love the community. They love the lifestyle. They want to be here. And we hope to see that change. And that's a culture thing. That those are things that we will work very hard to support. But when it comes down to the policing, 99. Well, this is the problem. This is the meetings that Sergeant Drobosenic and I have had with Track, with the Northern Rockies Lodge, and with the Parks folks, Parks contractor in Liard Hot Springs, is that nobody calls us. they have policing issues, but they don't call us because they know we're 4 hours away. And that becomes a significant issue. So the logical thing is that we look at developing a community police station up in that neck of the woods, or a patrol cabin. I'm sorry, folks. If I turn that off.
Well, at least not everybody's standing up and leaving.
Yeah.
See?
Yeah, sorry about that, folks.
It's usually the mayor.
It's usually me. It happens to me. It happens to me often.
Yeah, his isn't ringing, so we're all good. Yeah, so those are all things. So this has been a discussion with our North District management. The problem lies with anything within the federal government side of things. They need a matrix. They need to see. They need to be able to measure something if it's going to be worth their time to invest in it. Well, it's difficult if nobody calls. So this is something that Sergeant Drobosanic and myself have been working on since my return here in June. We've gone up and met with the associations. We're going to go back up here. I think CAO Barry has meetings set up in March, or is it March or April? March 26th. They head back up there and have some more conversations. And we're looking at what the options are. So I've made some proposals. And because this is a community forum, I'm not going to get into operational side things as well. But we've made some proposals that would enhance our operational extension. Basically, what we were able to do. So these are all things that are going to take time because nothing moves quickly. But in the meantime, we have a plan in place to start generating some statistics because I know if the owners of the Toad River Lodge or Erst and his family, they know we're in the community and they know we're up in that neck of the woods, they're going to make the phone call. We've had the conversation about all the significant issues. Watson Lake is a godsend to us, and when we do have emergencies up in that neck of the woods, they're closer. They can be there within an hour for the most part if we're looking at the Liard Hot Springs and such. And Sergeant Cropper, who's up in Watson Lake, he's been very helpful with us and assisted us a ton because he can be there in an hour and it takes us 4 to get there, right? So what I would like, we have some very good ideas and some ideas that will come to fruition. And our district management is behind it. It's just a matter of 1, human resources, 2, the commitment, and 3, there'll be MOUs and conversations and all that great stuff. What I am hoping to do in the interim as a Band-Aid solution is that we're hoping to send 1 member and the conservation officer up the highway for periods of time throughout the summer. So we'll have some sort of presence up there. And the idea is to go up there, fly the flag, meet with the business owners, be out at the hot springs, and just simply visibility. That is
Who gets that job?
lucky.
Yeah, awesome.
I'm kidding, by the way. Yeah. I think we'll go by seniority drop. Yeah, where's Jason? I don't know. But yeah, you know, it's really evident. Drabo and I were up there in basically last June or July when we went up there, and it was so receptive. It was so nice to talk to the amount of people that were, wow, Mounties. Well, what are you doing here? I mean, our American visitors and so on and so forth. It was a lot of fun, but you know what? It just goes to show that simply our presence up there takes the air, basically just settles things down, makes things so much better. And we know from the incidents that occurred with the homicides on the highway and stuff like that. This is a long time coming. We need to get on top of this and go that direction. But like I said, we have the building blocks, and that's what we're going to start doing. I would like And I'll also say this, and I'm sure I can probably hear my district management laughing. But I would like that we have a full-time, for lack of better words, unit that does our rural policing. That's our main goal. And like I said, there's lots of moving pieces. There's lots of human resources and funding issues, but we're at a unique crossroads right now, and I think this is the time to make it happen. It's just a matter of our management team, pulling the trigger. And they know that the community wants it. They know that the Northern Rockies Regional Municipality would like that enhanced ability, and so would the detachment commander, because it would allow me and Sergeant Rabosenic to have some resources that we don't have right now, which would in turn be value added to us going into the winter months, where we can turn it into a more, for lack of better words, a crime reduction team. But like I said, those are all in the works. It's just a matter of they come to fruition. But I hold some type of version of that is coming down the tube. Yeah. So hopefully that answers your question.
Yes, thank you. So yeah, so this is the up highway component, and just an extension of that. We've heard that there are travel blogs out there that have us identified as an area that people don't want to interact with the RCMP. And the RCMP are known around the world,
Really?
right? And that should be it should be a positive experience for people. When they meet members, right? It should be, well, I got to meet somebody from the RCMP, right? It's that Canadian icon sort of, and it's part of the experience. But if they feel that it's been a negative experience like that, they go away with a sour taste in their mouths. And so none of you guys are responsible for the tourism of making it, but it's just that iconic, perspective that tourists have with respect to the RCMP. And I think there's an opportunity to build on that. And of course, you're keeping us safe at the same time. But it sounds like we're on the same page.
We are definitely on the same page.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the other aspect of that is that if we don't have visibility in the community, we don't have engagement in the community, then the only reason why you're seeing the RCMP is because you're calling us for a reason. Mm-hmm. Or for lack of better words, you're being stopped for a traffic offense that we know there is history. And I'm not gonna mince words with that. And I know how the community feels about how things were handled here before in relations to our traffic section.
Yeah. But even just if you have members up the highway and in the evening they stop in at some of the campgrounds and
oh my goodness,
because people are always out around the campfire, and it just seems like an easy opportunity to sort of really make their trip just a little bit better.
We are all on the same page.
Yeah.
Yes. 100%. So going to our annual performance, is there any more questions? Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, I would be really interested in finding out some more information on your engagement within the schools. So you said that there's a youth engagement focus. So I don't expect anything today, but that's an area that I would be interested in getting some more information. And then also in terms of when you spoke about your desire to have members staying here longer. So as a local government, how can we contribute to that? Like, we've been very active in the health file. So we have a recruitment and retention plan within that health file, which provides housing in some instances. So I'm just wondering, I would be most interested in working with you to determine as a local government, what can we do in terms of recruitment, but also in terms of retention.
So currently, as of Wednesday of this week, I was last Wednesday, pardon me. Yeah, I lost my days.
So that's a week ago now.
So internally within the RCMP, I'm recruiting nationally right now to bring experienced police officers to our community, and a part of that was working with CO Barry and I think it was Miss Penny upstairs, Deanna?
Yep.
Diana.
I don't forget
Diana, yeah.
Deanna, in relations to, those options, opportunities and so on and so forth, and what we could do and what we can't do. So we've looked at that, but currently right now, we have a ad campaign. So every member of the Royal Canadian Mounted Police right now is seeing Fort Nelson show up on their computer saying, hey, come to Fort Nelson. And with that, we've used the links to the community, with the information that the regional Northern Rockies municipality has developed with, to become a local, and the short version and the long version. And that's, I think, how we sold it to Kate and Crystal. But
You were supposed to agree.
yes. So, but that's a huge part of it. So we're doing that, but I would love to work with the Northern Rockies
Yeah.
regional municipality in relations to how we're going to go, how we can enhance that. Because it's not, you remember, we're not just bringing police officers in the community, we're bringing their families. And so are we attracting nurses? I would love to bring more
Teachers.
nurses to the community, and you know what, there's a $30,000 bonus out there to bring them in for 2 years. If there's other things we can do to make it really enticing for people to come up here, we have, working within the parameters of CDRA benefits within the RCMP, travel allowances. We have a very, very, it's, you're not gonna find, this is in BC, and we have a very appealing package right now. But it's still, the problem lies in the organization is that constables are a commodity. And they're heavily desired right now, because you either get a recruit at a depot or you get an experienced member, and the experienced members, people just don't want to move anymore. They're not, it's just not the same
Yeah.
generation nowadays. So I would love to work with you, and
I'd be most interested,
we
yeah.
can come up with some solutions, and anything that we can do to bring people to the community. I love it.
Good. We'll put that on the action items.
So being the representative
For the minutes.
to the Chamber of Commerce, and seeing as how we have the Chamber of Commerce sitting in the room, maybe we can talk a little bit about the business committee
Yes.
idea.
So in 2023, when I first arrived here, the previous operations NCO had initiated a business association committee. Now we have a number of committees that we sit on a regular basis, and there's a number of them that going into this year that we're going to have representation on. One of it's the emergency services. So every last Thursday, every month, we sit down with fire, Northern Health, and everybody, and we have some great discussions, EOCs and such as well. So we also have, we did have the nonprofit society that had meetings where I attended, because I wanted to know what our nonprofits were doing and how we could be involved in what they're doing in the community to be, for lack of better words, value add and bring something to the community and be part of the community, right? The other part of that is that I know Sergeant Fletcher at the time was spearheading the business association, Chamber of Commerce meetings, where the idea from, I did not ever attend, so, but from what I was told, the context of that was to hear from the business communities, to hear the concerns they had in the community, but also an educational piece where we could talk about fraud prevention, we could talk about shoplifting, we could talk about safety of employees and that type of stuff. And it was a community engagement piece as well, where we get to meet all the business owners and folks, representatives of the Chamber of Commerce, and build those relationships. So as Sergeant Drabosek just received his assessment today, part of that is on his assessment is that he'll be spearheading those meetings again this year. And so
Congratulations.
yeah. Yeah, so I'm excited to get those meetings back up and going. And like I said, we've had a vacuum, and everybody knows why, the reasons why. And but like I said, we have a wonderful group of people sitting here in front of you. We're all committed to the same thing. We're all on the same page, and we're gonna bring it. We're gonna have some fun here at the same time. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, those business people they have their finger on the pulse, right? Because so many customers are coming through their store, right? They talking to them, they gotta get a feel. So, that's a resource for you guys as well.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. Any other questions? Okay.
I'm good.
So I won't take too much more of your time, but I just want to go over and let you know what our annual performance plan for this fiscal year looks like. And I hope that everybody here, when you hear the common theme here, common theme is engagement, visibility, and being a part of this wonderful community, okay? So number one on our annual performance plan this year is building and maintaining trust and confidence with our public, our partners, and it's really all about accountability and governance. And we're going to be looking at enhanced community and police partnerships, and I underline this, visibility. So we were looking at having enhanced community patrols, making the police more approachable to our community members, and obviously that's an issue. So it's just simply increased police visibility and engagement. External communication piece of this is we're looking at enhanced communications with our public, our partners. We're looking at ensuring that we have strong external communication programs, community engagements. So you're going to see us out with the business association engagements. You're going to see us having coffee with cops in the community, asking members of the public to come down and meet with us. We're going to have open houses. We're going to do all these things. And then that's not even and that's just in Fort Nelson. We have our IPS members and our senior management that will be engaged with Fort Nelson First Nations, Prophet River First Nations, and doing the exact same things in those communities. Super important that we put faces to names, people put faces to names, and or just not, oh, who's that guy type thing. We're going to, a lot of it here is, it sounds pretty generic, but a big part of this is ensuring that we have meetings with our local governments and Indigenous governments as well. So attending Northern Rockies Municipality and our Fort Nelson First Nations and Prophet River band meetings, and provide, let's just say, instead of getting into acronyms, but I'll just go into whenever the council wants. I'd like to come in on a more regular basis. I do come in, how I've done things since we've been here. I try to come in the early spring and in the fall after the summer, after the busy times. But I would like to come before council a little more often. Because if you have questions or concerns, I want you to be able to ask me and allow the public to know that, that things are being addressed, things are being dealt with. I don't want to have that vacuum, and I don't want people guessing what's going on. I want them to know what's going on.
I was going to give him something tongue in cheek, but you go ahead.
So in past years, you would come, not you, but
Yeah.
people before you would come quarterly and present the statistics and then be open for any questions. And the expectation wasn't that you had to stay for the whole meeting, but you would be at the top of the agenda. You could come in, do your thing, questions, whatever, and then you could go. So that was done quarterly.
Right. And we can do that quarterly. And what I would like to do is if we can schedule it, so that we're not, hey, let's get a date. We'll schedule it, put it in, set in stone. And then I'll make sure that we're here and we answer those questions. But also, it is one of those things where if there are concerns within the community, I'm here. I'm phone call away, or you come in and have a coffee with me at the detachment. The door's wide open all the time. Come and grab me. Come ask those questions. Come speak to me, and I can get you those answers. If I don't have the answers, we'll go to Sergeant Dropsonic. But like. Hey, you have to have some.
Why am I not feeling confident?
Yeah, exactly. But just it's one of the things. You guys see me here all the time as well. So it is one of those things, but where it is this the communication piece is so important. And then I speak to certain folks on council all the time because I see them at the farmer's market, or I come in and talk to Mayor Fraser or Scott. But I just want to make sure that that door is open for everybody. And if there's concerns, such as in the schools, such as in anything, just we can have that discussion, and because then I know, and then we can address those issues, and or if we can find solutions. That's what it all comes down to, right? Another part of that is that you like I said, participation in one of our main goals will be participating in Indigenous community events here in town. So increased partnerships, the community events, those will be documented, and we're looking at really focusing on the IPS side of things with the healing circles, Indigenous days, the hand games, culture camps, which our members are going out to, I believe, tomorrow. Treaty days and any other community events. We want to be front and center, and we want to be seen and be and that's really the nuts and bolts of what we're looking at from the visibility side of things. When it comes down to actually doing police work, you have, this is our plan. This is how I do business and have done business in I've been commander now for over 8 years, and every community I've been in, this is how we do things. We work on our offender management, and because the small percentage of people in the community cause us the most grief, and it's not the 99% of the good people of Fort Nelson that we concern ourselves about. It's the 1% that cause significant concerns to public safety and to all of us. So we will continue to champion our fear-free checks, our compliance checks. That is when we get people under charge. We're ensuring if they're back in the community, we are ensuring that they're complying with their orders. If they're not, we will make sure they are returned to a correction facility where they should be at that point in time. Enforcement projects, we are going to be focused on our PTEP clients, which are, for lack of better words, our prolific offenders. And then we're going to look at our REVO clients, which are our habitual repeat offenders, which is a program that was developed by the Solicitor General's office, or Attorney General's office, I should say, and Crown Counsel. So those are projects we'll be dealing with, and those may be complex, or they may be very simple projects, but they will have impact in the community. The other aspect of this is this year we will be, because of visibility, we will be on the highways, we'll be on the roads, and we're going to ensure that if you're driving impaired through Fort Nelson or in the community of Fort Nelson, that you're going to get stopped and you're going to be addressed appropriately. So impaired driving is a significant one in our list. And it's also, and I'll get into the violation tickets and education aspect of it as the other part of road safety. These are also initiatives to develop our young police officers to become better. And that's a huge initiative that Sergeant Drabelsenek and myself and our management team here are looking at changing. So these are very simple. So as you see, it seems very simple, community engagement, visibility, being part of the community, but out there doing the simple stuff that the good old fashioned police work that we want our members to do in order to develop themselves, become better police officers, which will only be a benefit to the community. And the third point that we're going to work on this year is that for myself, this is more holding myself and our management team account, is that we're having detachment meetings where we have functions, where we have localized training to provide professional development to our members. It's a long ways to travel to Chilliwack to take a course, when now we have set up Sergeant Drabelsenek and myself have done an enormous amount of work in our detachment over the course of this past 9 months in relations to cleaning the detachment up, to giving a professional environment to work in, facilities so we can do virtual training. And these are all things that will only be beneficial to our members. So this is something we were working on. And we're literally trying to enhance the job performance and change to a very positive work culture for our folks. And the other part of that is, and no, this doesn't affect mayor and council here, but we're making sure that we're recognizing our employees through awards or through or as refer as positive feedback. We call it town for. And we're making sure that as managers, we're finding good things that they're doing and reinforcing that. But also, if it's a negative thing, there's something that we will address as well. But for the most part, we're trying to build a culture of excellence here in town. And I think that's something that's been lacking for a long time. So in a nutshell, that's our annual performance plan. And if you have any feedback for that, please let me know. I mean, we can have a conversation here, but if later on you're thinking about something, or if you have like, hey, why aren't you targeting drugs in the community? Why aren't you targeting domestic violence? Why aren't you doing that? We are in that first tab at the top where it says offender management. We are targeting those specific offenses. It's just because we know that within our judicial system, those people are going to be released into the community. So how do we make sure it doesn't happen again? How do we make sure that people comply and understand that when they're in Fort Nelson, that the RCMP are not going to turn a blind eye to other things that are going to occur with those individuals. So, like I said, I hear a lot of it. Well, why aren't we doing this? Why aren't we doing that? A lot of these little items, these 4 items encompass a ton of other topics.
Ambitious.
I hope so. I hope so. But these people here, these folks that are before you, extremely capable police officers, talented, and are going to when I put it this way, when I come before council next time, I know I'm going to have some really significantly positive things to say about where we're going and what we're doing.
Well, there's been success. The last year for sure has been way better than the year before. I don't get near the calls that I was getting before. I hear from people that I associate with that they feel the community is safer. They're not hearing about as many violent crimes as they were hearing about before. Not all of them are involved in those or have neighbors that are involved in those, but they all hear about it in a small community, and especially with the Facebook warriors, the way they go, that stuff spreads around the community fairly quickly. So, my sense of it is that what you're saying is true, and it's working. And so if you can enhance that even more, it can only do all of us better. So I'm looking forward to the barbecue. I hope there's someone here who can cook a hamburger. And I'm looking forward to inviting one or more of you down to the Senate at the A&W and see how you make out there with a little bit of advice and wisdom from the local folks. So
no, yeah. And that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
And because, like you said, you're getting phone calls, and here's what I'll say. Don't be afraid to tell them, and this is where we need to be more engaged in the community, and we will be. That's a non-issue. But don't be afraid to say, hey, I know that detaching commander does that. The operations in, why don't you go talk to Jason and Rob? I'm sure they'll put a pot of coffee on, and they'd love to hear the the worries of the world, because there's it doesn't matter who it is in town. If they have concerns about the community, then we would love to hear them.
Better be careful, because if your coffee is better than A&W, that might become this new Senate.
Yeah, well, you know what? There's worse things in the world, right?
That's right.
Worse
Good.
things in the world. So,
does anybody else have any comments? Then I want to really thank you for coming in and let us know what's happening, introducing your new A team to us, and certainly look forward to seeing all of you out there and your members out there, and our relationship's good, obviously, right? So it's easy to work with you, and it'll be easier to work with the team that you've got. So I'm looking forward to that, and I know our council is as well. The town is better off because of you guys.
thank you, Mayor Fraser. I appreciate your time as always, and councilors. Like I said, open door policy. Please come by anytime, and and thank you for your time today.
Thank you very much. Oh, did you want to say something, Ben? Okay, sure.
Thanks so much. Just on behalf of the Chamber of Commerce, myself, my board, and the business community. Welcome, everyone. We're so excited. And we're really excited by the idea of more community engagement. I think it's critically important. And on that note, I would like to invite you to attend the trade show, which is coming up in May, as well as in the summer months, the visitor center hosts what we call welcome visitor programs for up to usually about 50 people at a time that are traveling through the community. So if members are available and interested, would love to have you attend one of those or those sessions, not just one of them, all of them. Thanks so much.
So, thank you so much. Put 2 tables away for us. Maybe
Perfect.
maybe even 3. 3?
Three?
Three?
Okay.
Yeah, we've got big plans. And one of the big things, wasn't that email that was put out that every member in this detachment will have the red surge and everything available for them?
That would be wonderful.
So anytime we'll talk about it, it'll be part of the meetings with Sergeant Robosenic. But we will have surge out there whenever you have these get-togethers with your visitors and so on.
That would be fabulous. And Lorraine, you'll know this, and maybe Rob, the back in the day when we first started the Welcome Visitor Program, there was always an officer there in red surge, and it was probably the highlight of those get-togethers, and it does really mean a lot. So appreciate that, and yeah, excited.
I know we're recording and stuff, but is there going to be rendezvous days at all this year?
No, not to my knowledge.
No.
And Trappers the Heritage Days just happened in
Passes, yeah.
February. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So, thank you.
Anyways, thank you.
Okay, so is there anybody online who has any questions? No? Okay, there's no new business, so we are adjourned. Thank you very much, everybody.
It's really great to meet you.